distinguished guests, dear Natalia, thank you very much for your kind words. I have to say that the most hardworking people in this room are you, the business people, the businessmen and businesswomen who drive this economy, who has been helping us over the past 5 years, going into the 6th year now, recover from the depths of the financial crisis, and it's going strong with a very strong growth, one of the highest, if not the highest, in the European Union. So allow me first, dear Natalia, to thank you personally, but also Vesni Kipra, for inviting me to address the opening ceremony. Events such as this go a long way to what I mentioned before for helping us drive the economy forward in every sector that we try to promote. And certainly over the past 5-6 years, we have seen a lot of events happening, with the heightening of the crisis back in 2013 to the recovery which practically started in 2015 and still going forth. I can talk very briefly about a number of sectors that you just mentioned, Natalia, such as, for example, professional services, growing very strong in every segment of the professional services sector, primarily also in areas where we have new growth, where we're developing new competencies. For example, in the headquartering field, so our ability to attract multinationals to base their headquarters here in Cyprus, especially in the fields of information technology and computer services, I have to say. And this can be dated back to 2013-14 to some specific measures we have taken from the Ministry of Finance about executives basing their operations here in Cyprus. I can also talk about funds and our ability in horizontal line to attract major funds, the funds industry here in Cyprus, creating jobs, creating job opportunity, economic development, both in real estate, which I see here is overly represented. I also can talk about energy. I can talk about domestic energy and our drive to reduce the cost of producing and generating energy and consuming energy, and an ability which has helped us greatly recover from the financial crisis. I can give you one number, that in the consumer sector, in 2013, we were ranked number 2 as the most expensive European EU country. In 2016, we were ranked 16th most expensive. So it shows you how we drive to make the country more competitive, but also our effort to give households bigger spending power. I can also talk about the oil and gas sector. I will not do that now because it's a new and emerging, a very exciting field. Again, Limassol specifically is seeing a lot of economic activity because of the oil and gas sector and because of the operations which are taking place at the Limassol port. Last but not least, what I wanted to mention here is, of course, the tourism sector. Tourism sector which has delivered record arrivals in 2016-2017. We are hopeful for another successful year in 2018, despite the fact that we are currently facing some minor challenges, which are not to be worried about, primarily from the Russian market. This is practically because of an increased competition as markets which have been underperforming over the past few years are coming back to deliver stronger growth. We are, however, optimistic that despite the sluggish arrivals at this point in time from the Russian market, we will be able to recover and also recover from the other markets as well. What I want to close is the reassurance which I gave you, Natalia, on many occasions, and to give you, all of you, that the government will continue to drive a strong agenda of structural reforms. We know that over the past 5 years we did a lot, but we also know that we didn't do enough. I know all of you business people, the public requires that we do deep reforms and deep restructuring of the public sector and of the main industries that are driving the Cyprus economy. We hope that over the next few weeks we will have the voting, the enactment into law of the Sub-Ministry for Tourism, which will give a new impetus, a new emphasis on this new sector. We have a national growth strategy. We are driving significant reforms in the Ministry of Interior in many areas which admittedly are a pain point in doing business here in Cyprus. So, to conclude, let me once again thank Natalia and Vesni Kibra for the invitation, but for this amazing event. And first of all, let me wish you all a pleasant evening and, of course, a productive conference tomorrow. Thank you very much.